Spider-Man is directed by Sam Raimi and stars Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco and Willem Dafoe, and is, you know, the origin story of Spider-Man. I'm going to presume most of you have seen this movie. Don't worry if you haven't, because I'm going to try my best to keep away from spoilers. But come on, it's Spider-Man. Most of you should have seen this by now. Now, as I've mentioned in previous reviews, I will be reviewing every Spider-Man movie per month leading up to the release of Spider-Man Homecoming in July, which means I have to start right back at the basics with 2002's Spider-Man movie. The original Spider-Man trilogy was my childhood, and I couldn't have had it any other way. I love Spider-Man, and I do think this original trilogy, well, the first two at least, did the character as best as they possibly could have done. First of all, I love Sam Raimi's approach to these movies. It's very fun, it's very entertaining, but he also knows when to hit those dark moments as well, without going too over the top. Like, for example, the scenes involving Norman Osborn alone in his house having arguments with himself are some really intense scenes, especially for a comic book superhero movie. Yet again, that being said, you do have some incredibly fun scenes, like the scene where Peter's trying to figure out how his powers work, and also the scene where Green Goblin attacks the parade. That scene doesn't quite make a lot of sense, but it is very fun. Performances in this movie are very good as well. Tobey Maguire, I think, plays a very good Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He's very believable as this kind of socially awkward nerd, but at the same time doesn't go overboard, which makes him a lot easier to root for and a lot more believable. Kirsten Dunst is, well, Kirsten Dunst. She's very pretty to look at, she's very good in her role, and she's there because she needs to be there. There's not much else you can really say about her performance in this movie, but I do think she improves in the later movies. James Franco I thought was very good as Harry Osborn, but for me, the thing that makes this movie is Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin, because he literally gives everything he has into this role. At times it can be over the top, but it's just so fun to watch that you can't help take your eyes off of his performance, and every scene that he's in, he steals them. Cliff Robertson as Uncle Ben is also really good in the movie as well. You can tell that Peter looks up to him, but at the same time, Uncle Ben's just trying to do what he can, and that scene with great power comes great responsibility scene, even though it has been parodied quite a bit, every time I watch that, it still feels very heartfelt and very emotional. Now, even though this is a very enjoyable and entertaining movie, there are problems with the movie for sure. For example, it hasn't particularly aged that well. Some of the effects are very dated, and some of the acting by minor cast members is a little bit cheesy and a bit too obvious. And that leads on to my next problem, which is the Green Goblin suit. Now, when I was young, I actually kind of liked it, but watching it now, it just looks like a fucking Power Rangers villain. And I think the main problem with this suit is the fact that the mouth is not animated. It just looks fake, and it's pretty fucking obvious. Also, one minor nitpick that I just want to get out there that a lot of people have mentioned over the years is that everyone in the high school looks about 25. Surely they could have found younger actors. It just does not look believable. Despite those flaws though, I still have a ton of fun watching the original Spider-Man movie, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I will happily watch this movie, just have fun with it, and not really give a shit about anything else. So guys, that was my review of Spider-Man. Stay tuned in March for the review of Spider-Man 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked the movie, then let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, then give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Bye!